Welcome you legends and heliheads to this final video in the Apache AH-64D series from DCS World, which is looking at the missiles. Now, we've had some great pew-pew time with the guns and rockets. We know how to do that now. Now let's look at the missiles. Now, so what I'm showing you here is not a tutorial. I re-emphasize the video at the top right hand corner. If you haven't gone and seen that, please go and see that. This is just an introduction to the to this wonderful helicopter. That's all. Right, let's crack on with it. We're going to fire missiles today. Now, let's get rid of our iHads. You're currently joining me in the Apache, where we are currently in a hover. Yes, I've used the radar altitude hold and the attitude hold to hold me in a hover at feet. Now, missiles. The AGM-114 missile, the Hellfire missile, comes in two specific variants in DCS World, the K and the L. The L uses a radar in the nose cone to assist in acquisition of a target, and the K rides on a laser beam to a specific target. The difference between the two, bottom line, K is a bit like a sniper weapon. It's gonna land where you point it and where it fires. But the L, however, may well, you know, the lastminute.com decide to go somewhere else and kill something else, purely because it's got radar profiles loaded into the radar system, and it will, once it's left the platform, once it's left the Apache, it will then determine which is a more obvious target, and it may well hit a different target to the one that you've identified. That's the way it goes with the L variant. So in general terms, Tiger, why would you use the K over the L? Well, the K, which is laser, is going to hit whatever you send it out to within about a little bit over 8.5k, 8k, 8 to 8.5k, about 5 mile. It'll hit it, no question. But the L variant, however, well, that's not, as I've already said, and so you would usually use the L variant when you are engaging a location where it's all hands on, you know, gloves are off. Anything there is fair game. You're not worried about collateral damage, because once these missiles go out, they're going to hit something. The L's are going to hit something. You know, as I said, the lastminute.com, it may change. Now, setting up the missiles is very simple, to be honest with you. There are missiles there. The green pods there, you can see, represent each of those pylon locations. We've got 16 missiles loaded. I don't need to touch anything on here at the minute. It's telling me lots of things, like what my acquisition source is, the type of missile, semi-active laser. It will still use a laser to gauge range, but it will pretty much do its own thing thereafter. We can fire the missiles from the back seat, from the front seat. In fact, let's say hello to George. Hello, George. We're going to use you today, George. So let's get him active. George, are you there?
Hellfire's up.
Yes, he's there indeed. Now, George is going to help us today in firing those missiles, and I'm going to show several different examples. So hopefully this should go right. How to quickly cram in how to fire missiles in an Apache as quickly as possible. In front of us is a target area. Let's pop that up. It's the area that we engaged when we engaged with guns, actually, just a line of trucks, as simple as that. We've got George. We've told him to activate the Hellfires, which he has. The weapon systems are ready to go. Now all we have to do actually is identify a particular area that we want him to look at. Before we do that, we need to take master arm off. We don't have to select the weapon system from the pilot, which you can see at the minute we haven't. It's saying that missiles are selected and that TADS is the acquisition source, but you know, I could go guns, for example, and just select guns. I could shoot guns while George is engaging with Hellfires. So all we have to do is move our head to identify a rough area we want him to look at. George, we want you to look at there. And he will then move the acquisition source, in this case the TADS. Let's put the video up so you can see, look, there he is. What you're seeing there is him looking, and he has now come up with the bottom left hand corner with some targets of choice. Now remember, we're using the radar missiles at the minute, so all gloves are off. You know, anything down there is fair game, at which point we're not particularly worried if this missile hits a different target to the one we select. All we do is we move our selection choice and we go, oh crikey, we want him to take out that one there. We select it.
Target acquired.
He's then going to acquire the target. He's going to laze it, as you can see him doing there. And there's one away. Now that one away in the air there, off it goes. And it will, as it goes there, it will hit the target. And George will tell you, good effects, etc. So you could very happily, as I do, to be perfectly honest with you, as I do, you could very happily just be the pilot, be in charge of the guns and the rockets where you earn your pay, and leave target acquisition and the options of the target choice to George, as he does, as we've just shown there. There are lots of benefits of using George. It means you can concentrate on flying this wonderful machine. But there are also lots of downsides. For example, and we don't need to get him to re-look anywhere else now. We can just very simply just call that menu back up, and we can see on the video there that he's moving. And we can then reselect another target. And he'll fire one away. Rifle. There's one in the air, and we can call that target list up again and choose another target.
Target in sight. Laser on. Lasers off.
But you can see that it's fairly slow. It's a fairly slow process, but you know, it does give you the exact option over the specific targets that George has presented to you, in this case, as we see here. So you really can pick and choose. And this is great if you are using the K variants, remember the laser variants. But you know, what if you are, you know, using the radar variants? Surely we can just ripple them bad boys off and just send them out there. Yes, we can. And for that, we're going to use the fire control radar.